So Marcus Rashford has released a statement on social media and it says the following: I don't even know where to start and I don't even know how to put into words how I'm feeling at this exact time. I've had a difficult season. I think that's been clear for everyone to see, and I probably went into the final with a lack of confidence. I've always backed myself for a penalty, but something didn't feel quite right. During the long run-up, I was saving myself a bit of time, and unfortunately the result was not what I wanted. I felt as though I'd let my teammates down. I felt as if I'd let everyone down. A penalty was all I've been asked to contribute for the team. I can score penalties in my sleep, so why not that one? It's been playing in my head over and over since I struck the ball, and there's probably not a word to describe how it feels. Final, 55 years, one penalty, history. All I can say is sorry. I wish it had gone differently. I've grown into a sport where I've expected to read things written about myself, whether it be the colour of my skin, where I grew up, or most recently how I decide to spend my time off the pitch. I can take critique of my performance all day long. My penalty was not good enough. It should have gone in. But I will never apologise for who I am and where I came from. I felt no prouder moment than wearing those 3 lions on my chest and seeing my family cheer me on in a crowd of tens of thousands. I've dreamt of days like this. The messages I've received today have been positively overwhelming, and seeing the response in Withington had me on the verge of tears. The communities that always wrapped their arms around me continue to hold me up. I'm Marcus Rashford, 23-year-old black man from Withington and Wythenshawe, South Manchester. I have nothing else. If I have nothing else, I have that. For all these kind messages, thank you. I'll be back stronger. We'll be back stronger. Really emotional read that, Ali McCoist. And yep. You said earlier on you don't feel like he has the need to apologise for anything.
I really don't. I 100% don't. Listen, he'll be feeling disappointed, but what, I don't understand why he has to apologise. Not. In fact, he doesn't have to apologise. He doesn't have to apologise to anybody. You know, he missed a penalty. Dear me, as I said earlier, Woodsy, 50% of the people taking the penalties missed them. 5 out of 10. You know. So not for me, Marcus. You do 100%. You don't need to apologise. You know what I mean? Clearly you'll be disappointed. That goes without saying, and you'll be running it through in your own head for weeks to come. That goes without saying. But apology? Nah, don't worry about that, mate.
Let's speak to someone that knows him better than most. David Horowicz joined Marcus Rashford at youth side Fletcher Moss Rangers, and he is with us now. David Horowicz, thank you so much for coming on this morning. You were his coach when he was a bit younger. Tell us what your reaction was hearing about this abuse that's been directed at him.
Well, where do you start? You know, when we've got a club as diverse as Fletcher Moss Rangers is, it brings you to tears. You know, we're a club of less than 50% whites and non-white, and it's horrendous what we've had to do. You know, we've just started an online petition for the government to do something about the racial abuse that's going on online. It's absolutely shocking. You know, that young man has done so much for Fletcher Moss Rangers and the community and the country that, you know, he must be feeling, you know, so low. I mean, what else can the man do?
I totally agree, actually, David. And we've been discussing this morning about Ali just saying, you probably heard it there, he doesn't feel the need to apologise. He's achieved so much in his career already and done so
Absolutely
much
not.
more than everybody else.
Absolutely not. He's got no reason to apologise. So, Fletcher Moss Rangers, we know what he's done for the kids of our community. By getting the free school meals, he must have easily put food on the plates of about 70% of the children that are part of Fletcher Moss Rangers. Now, that is a phenomenal thing to do. You know, for him to be able to do that sort of thing. For him to do what he does on the pitch inspires so many kids. What he's done regarding getting kids reading at school and at home, it's just so inspirational. The young man is a hero in everybody's heart. And whether or not they go to Fletcher Moss Rangers or not, he's seen as a hero all over the country.
I think so, David. And may I just say, and I don't know whether you would agree or not, I think arguably we all know Marcus is a smashing lad and he's a fantastic football player. but I think arguably he's achieved more off the park in the last 2 years than he might ever achieve on it.
Don't disagree with you. I cannot disagree with you. He won't go down in football history at this moment because he's not really achieved a great deal on the field, but off the field, I mean, I think at some stage down the line, if he should ever come out of the game or when he comes out of the game, I think he'll be an ambassador for so many different causes, whether it's UNICEF, whether it's child poverty, whether or not it's something to do with football. He will just go on and on to be a great, great man.
Yep.
You know him better than most, as we mentioned earlier on. You coached him at the youth side while he was there, so he was young. How much can he bounce back from this? Tell us a little bit about his mentality.
Well, I mean, for what he is now from what he was at the time, a 6-year-old boy who just wanted to have a football at his feet and Andy, Ali will tell you what nutmegging is, but all he wanted to do was try and nutmeg the coaches and any kids that's in front of him. I believe he's got the record for number of nutmegs throughout this season, and he just wanted to do it. But the thing is, mate, he would actually call it on the coaches, and we could not do a thing about it.
I know. There's nothing worse. There's nothing more annoying, David. Now, come on. There's nothing more.
You get a 6-year-old boy that actually calls a megs on you, and then goes away. And it's going away saying, "See ya."
No, I can hear absolutely and totally justified the pride in your voice. Tell us a little bit more about Fletcher Moss Rangers, David. It's obviously how long have you been involved with the club? How long has the club been going?
Well, the club's been going since 1984. Not the longest football club out there, Since 1984, I've been involved for. I think this is my 30th year that I've been involved. There's another chap that we call Mr. Fletcher Moss, Ronnie Jameson. He's been there. I'm getting emotional now, mate. He's been there a little bit longer than me, but we do this for the kids, and when we've got the sort of diverse group of kids that turn up every week in and out, no matter what the weather, it's just a lovely feeling. One of my fears is that grassroots football can easily fall into decline if we're not careful because of the lack of funding coming down from up above. I mean, there is a this sort of misconception that the likes of Marcus, Phil Foden, Bukayo Saka, Raheem Sterling, all at some miraculous stage actually just appeared on the fields of academies all over the country. But they all started at grassroots football clubs, and there's absolutely nothing coming down from the professional football clubs that have taken these kids. I mean, we had 7 boys last season signed from one team to Manchester United and to Manchester City. And in the same age group, there was kids going to Blackpool Football Club, Accrington Football Club. This year we've had a kid signed to Bolton Wanderers, a goalkeeper. We've had a kid signed to Manchester City, 2 kids signed to Liverpool, and not a thing coming down from them. There's nothing worse than seeing a kid leave your team because he's going on to bigger and better things, and it's a bittersweet feeling. But we've got lots of other kids that we need to be bringing through, and unless there's something starts to come back down, there's going to be a lot of grassroots clubs throughout the country that are just going to fold.
David, one more before we have to let you go. I wanted to mention the mural that's been vandalised, and rather than focus on it being vandalised, it's the Marcus Rashford mural. If people are listening and aren't really sure which one it is, it says, "Take pride in knowing that your struggle will play the biggest role in your purpose." And it was covered up, so it was vandalised over the course of the last day or so, and it was covered up by paper. And then since then, people in the community have gone and put their own messages of support for him, and pictures and love hearts, and covered it all up, which I just thought was amazing, really, David.
I cannot echo your sentiments any more than you have done. A lot of our kids went down there and put hearts and post-it stickers on it. because he's one of our own. And I don't just mean one of our own as far as Fletcher Moss is concerned. He's one of our own as being from Withington and round the area is concerned. When people sort of walk past that, there is an enormous sense of pride that he is one of ours. And I can't agree with him more than, when he said, how can he apologise for who he is? He shouldn't have to apologise for who he is or for what he is. Nobody should have to do that. On behalf of Fletcher Moss Rangers, we're just incredibly proud of what he's done, what he continues to do, and what he will do in the future.
David, thank you for coming on. It's always a pleasure to have you on, talking about just everything that you guys do as well, and also talking about Marcus Rashford. Thank you so much.
talkSPORT Breakfast with Laura Woods, Monday to Wednesday mornings 6 till 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.